really is.
Absolutely. I think, and watching upstairs at the bar, we kind of feel that Carolina was a little bit tight in the first quarter, as you would expect them to be. Do you think they were tight?
Well, you look at the goalies, okay? Neither goalie made any sensational saves in that first half. Now both of them have really found the range, and they're going to get that continuity of goaltending play, which is very vital. So consequently, what you're going to find now in the second half is the goalies will be coming up with the big saves.
The only guy really taking charge, of course, is Jeff Cook, who has 3 goals, and could have had a 4th, but it was nullified by the time after the first quarter. Ball going out of bounds. We're going to go back up to Bob Smith for the remainder of the halftime and get ready for the second half of the Johns Hopkins North Carolina Championship Division I action.
Thank you, Leaf. Now down on the field, both teams just about completing their halftime warm-ups. Hopkins in blue, Carolina in white. And we'll be back with the second half of this exciting NCAA Division I championship game in just a moment. Welcome back to Palmer Stadium at Princeton, New Jersey, where we're almost ready for the opening face-off of Johns Hopkins versus North Carolina, the Division I Lacrosse Championship. A lot of sports come your way on ESPN. And of course, the very latest scores, highlights, and interviews, and all the news in the world of sports is brought your way each day on ESPN Sports Center. Sports Center comes your way with a 30-minute edition several times a day, each night, and on Monday through Saturday, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and on Sunday at 11 p.m. We'll have a full 60 minutes of Sports Center to keep you right up to date with the latest happenings. Sports Center is the most comprehensive sports news program on television, and it's yours exclusively on ESPN, your total sports network. Both teams now huddling up, getting ready for the start of the second half. Bob Smith along with Leif Elsmo, and I guess Leif's going to be a little fatigued because the run from the field back up to the press box here at Princeton is a pretty hefty run, and it's climbing stairs all the way. I imagine Leif will be back in a couple of minutes. We see Johns Hopkins. There are some fans who have a seat at the very top of the stadium here at Princeton. A good view to watch the fast breaks and the clearing. Hopkins will be defending the goal to our right. Hopkins in their blue jerseys with white numerals, and Carolina in white jerseys with Carolina blue numerals. We're just about set for the opening face-off of the second half. The referee puts the ball down, backs out. Stenderson tries to run over Howie Offit with a nice pickup right off the top of the grass. Back to Lance Schneck, and Schneck will get it back to Brian Holman. And now back to Schneck as Hopkins sets up. They're clear. Not too much pressure at this point from Carolina on the ride. Griswold chasing around behind. That's not going to create any problems for Johns Hopkins in clearing the ball. Now Schneck has a 2-on-1 on the far side of the field. Looks down, instead comes back over this way to Ciccarone. And Ciccarone will clear the ball easily. Give it over quickly to Offit, and Offit will put the ball back to Jimmy Zafuto. Johns Hopkins not having a lot of trouble clearing the ball here. Since they rearranged their clear early in the game, they had muffed a couple of clears mainly from bad passing, but right now they've settled down and they're clearing the ball with a great deal of speed. Schneck calls Ciccarone to him, and Schneck will set up the isolation top of the box, looking right at Timmy Vogel. Now gives it over to Ciccarone. Ciccarone back to Schneck. Now Schneck starts his move. He's open, he can shoot from there, and he fires, and a nice save by Tommy Sears, and he almost loses it. That'll be an interference call going against the crease attackman, we believe Jeff Harris. Once the goalie has possession of the ball, you cannot hit his stick as long as he remains in the crease area. And we'll see it coming up again as Leif rejoins us.
I feel like I just ran midfield for Hopkins. I'm tired. Here we go. Sears with a great save, coming right from the front, keeping his eye on the ball, staying it way high in there. Now watch how he gets it back and almost scores on himself. He brings it back into the crease for protection. There's the interference. As the stick comes in, hits him, and watch. The ball's loose, almost goes into the net.
Wouldn't have counted, however, of course, because the interference had been called. Nice clearing pass over to Gary Burns. Burns looks back, calls for a midfielder, and finds him coming across the middle. And a nice check inside there by Walt Carswell as he nails Dougie Hall, and Hopkins gets the ball back.
Sort of a clothesline move on Dougie Hall, almost a penalty, I thought, as it came through, but a good, clean play. Referees being very close and calling it properly.
Jeff Cook now could have had an isolation against a midfielder, but he allowed for a substitution on the fly, and that allowed North Carolina to switch up and get a defenseman on him. Defenseman number 37, Johnny Haas. And And he'll watch as Cook goes all the way out to the far side to set up an ISO.
8-7, Bob, in this game is everything we thought it would be. Both teams averaging 17 goals every game they play, and they're almost hitting that right now, 8-7 ahead.
Cook gets double teamed and whacked really hard by Jamie Allen, but he has the ball. Inside feed now picked up nicely by one of the midfielders for North Carolina. They get it over to Jamie Allen. He gets it up quickly to Peter Vogel. And Vogel legs it across the midfield line, and Carolina clears. Neither team having too much trouble clearing the ball since the early problems Hopkins had in the first quarter.
They're not. You heard before the game, Coach Henry Triccaroni mentioned that he wants to play 6-on-6 with these guys, not lose any goals by midfield play. He doesn't want to overplay them there and get beat with speed to the goal. So he feels he can beat him 6-on-6, and that's just what he's trying to do.
Burnett tries to run by Lance Schneck. He beat Schneck earlier. He's got him beat again. Turns and fires a nice save. It's going to be a hold as Schneck was laying his stick across the neck. Now we see a slashing call coming up against Schneck, and so Carolina will be extra for 1 minute.
You see a close-up of that's Monty Hill coming off Monty Hill. And here's the drive coming on the right side. You will see the hold as he comes in real tight. He wants to cut off the glove side, the stick side, to turn him back. Being double teamed, but Burnett shot over the shoulder, and Holman with a beautiful save, playing position all the way. These days, you can't wait for the guy to turn to shoot. He may shoot. Any good attackman can shoot at any time, like Barnett did just there. Extra man situation for North Carolina.
Top of the box on the extra man, David Wingate, number 19, the son of Elmer Wingate, who we spoke with at halftime. Back out to Griswold. Carolina at a 2-3-1, getting a little bit of pressure on the wings. Now they slide down to a 1-4-1. Peter Vogel looking out for some help, finds it in Burnett. Burnett's going to dodge, now puts it back behind to Monty Hill. Burnett once again wants to dodge, picked up by Dave Black, back out to Peter Vogel. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to affect. Now they get the backside feed. The shot taken out there, knocked down nicely by Dave Black, but right back in the stick of Peter Vogel. Vogel under some heat. He gives it off out front, and a shot knocked down again by one of the defensemen. That shot taken by Terry Martinella. The ball still rolling loose. The throw out of the stick of one of the defensemen of Hopkins, picked up by Burnett. Great stick work, great speed here. That'll be a hold coming up as Burnett comes around, and he is sandwiched. He's hit there by Joe Soletti and Dave Black, and I think he needed a rest. He pats Joe Soletti on the leg, says nice hit, but we'll see what that call is. It will definitely be a hold, and Hopkins will be down another man.
A lot of hustle by Burnett, but you're going to see hustle doesn't make a good extra man play. I don't understand extra man. They're not moving the ball very well in the air. Burnett hustles back, gets the ball from out of bounds. Here's the first hold call right across the neck, but Burnett puts the ball way high and keeps control. And watch the double team come in and sandwich Burnett with a good hard hit. Right here, boom! And that ball went rejected right out of bounds, took away his shot, and sets up North Carolina with a two-man advantage. You'll see the defense set up in a box, a four-pointed box.
11:25 remaining in the third quarter. Hopkins leading Carolina 8-7, and Carolina though with the two-man advantage here.
There's a good shot, Bob, of the box. You see the four defensemen standing in a square in front of the goal. They'll let the offense take the outside shot. They want to keep any shots from, say, 12 yards or closer away from their goalie.
Now Lance Schneck comes in, so Hopkins is only down a man. The first penalty has expired as they put the ball back to Burnett. Burnett is open, he can come around. He wants to feed inside, and a nice move in there by Joe Soletti as he knocked down the pass. And a long outlet pass up towards the goal. And offsides will be Jeff Harris as he's nudged there by Jamie Allen. A good alert play by Jamie Allen as he pushed Harris offsides, and Carolina will regain possession.
Good call by the referee. He was right on the line. We'll see it on our monitor. Take a look. Here he is. He's dancing. Harris is dancing down the line, aiming with a little shove, and he walks right over about 6 inches to the other side. The referee right on the play. Ball goes back to North Carolina.
Now both penalties are over, and a hard shot taken there by Peter Vogel. Snared there by Brian Holman. He lobs a pass back over to the near side to Lance Schneck.
Bob, I have to say that was a disappointing extra man offensive series. There wasn't much ball movement. They looked like they were playing a regular offense against a man-down defense.
Now Hopkins goes back on offense. The ball is cleared by Joe Soletti. He gets it back over on the far side to Brendan Schneck. He holds it momentarily while Soletti comes out of the game. And offensive threat, Henry Ciccarone Jr. comes in.
Again, this is more of that specialization that you see so many teams doing in lacrosse. Here's an offensive situation, so they bring in the offensive midfield. And in this case, it's Brendan Schneck leading.
Brendan's now going to go back to an isolation as he pulls far out in front of the goal. Hopkins sets up a two-man screen down inside. They've got Cantelli down. Actually, three men now. Cantelli, Cook, and another midfielder. Schneck is knocked down, loses the ball, tries to recover. But there's a man on a dead run, picking up the ball, number 34, Terry Martinello. Quick side, lead inside, and they've got a fast break, and they score. Carolina scores. David Wingate has his first goal of the game, and that's Carolina Lacrosse. Johns Hopkins now is tied with North Carolina, 8-all, 9:50 remaining in the third quarter.
Beautiful play by Terry Martinello. They really double-teamed Brendan Schneck this time. No way he was going to the cooker by himself. All the way up there on their offensive half of the field for Hopkins. Double-teamed Schneck. Got the ball on the ground. Martinello picked it up. Here he is coming down. He's looking for the feed. He sees Wingate about 20 yards ahead. He feeds it to Wingate, who was one-on-one with Holman. Wingate makes a nifty little move. He fakes. Watch the fake here. He doesn't fake. I'm sorry, he doesn't fake, but he goes right to the far side of the pipe, left-hand corner. Nice, beautiful play on a fast break situation. That is Carolina Lacrosse, and it's a tie ball game with 9 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Facing off once again, Stenerson for Carolina and Hallie Offit for Johns Hopkins. And picked up by Jeff Kendall. Kendall loses it as they go over his head, knock it away. Here comes Mike Burnett. Burnett with a man breaking down inside. Monty Hill does not see Monty Hill, so he takes the ball back out. Hill had broken underneath his defenseman on the far side. Now over to Peter Vokel. Excuse me, not Peter Vokel, it's number 11, Tom Federico. And he's in a little bit of trouble as he loses the ball. Picked up nicely there by David Black. Kevin Keeper across the midfield line, has a fast break. Looks inside, he'll probably give it off to Harris. Harris far side to Cook, and Cook has the ball either knocked away or lost it, we'll see. It's going to go over to North Carolina as the ball just got away from Jeff Cook or Jeff Harris.
It was knocked down by John House. John House had a beautiful, it was a fast break situation. That long defensive stick, House read it beautifully, knocked it down, and now it goes.
They're calling it North Carolina ball. Well, Jeff Cook protesting that it was knocked down by one of the defensemen, but the referee down there did not read it.
That's the way I saw it. The defenseman, John House, put a stick on it, or else Cook would have had an open shot on the net. He deflected that ball, went out of bounds. Referee sees it. Here's Ciccarone calling and trying to get his troops set up for the clear.
Now they give it over quickly to Tommy Sears. Henry Ciccarone Jr. of Johns Hopkins. Now we'll see what this, it'll be a delay, and that'll be a technical foul. We'll see who that goes against. It probably will go against Hopkins. We're not quite sure why.
It should go against Hopkins. I see Coach Willie Scroggs talking to his offense, his extra man people. He needs a goal here. He wants one badly. He's sending them in. In the extra man situation, you send in your 6 best offensive players, and they try to move that ball and get the defense, who is a man down, to get one slide behind the ball, in which case you'll have a one-on-one with the goalie. That's what surprised us last time, because Carolina was not moving the ball in the air. They were working one side of the crease, one side of the goal, back and forth, sort of like a regular situation.
We'll see what they do now in this extra man situation. They'll be extra 6-on-5 for 30 seconds. Back out front to Martinello. Now over on the far side to Kevin Griswold. Griswold dances around, back to Burnett. Burnett over to Vokel. Now they've moved down into a 1-4-1. They feed inside tightly. That's the shot they've been trying to get. Now Vokel picks it up. Looks on the inside feed. A nice shot. Over there by Mike Burnett. He's got a beautiful feed. Looks like they're trying to work the wings and get the shots from the wings lead. That was backed up over there by...
They really are. That's a very tough feed across the crease, but they got away with it. Now Burnett stepped in the crease, and I think that's the call. Watch Vokel come down. He sees Burnett across the crease. He can't make a shot here. He's behind the goal. He feeds over to Vokel. Vokel's right there. He's nice play behind by the Hopkins defenseman, and Burnett put it too far above the goal. But again, it's kind of like a hit or miss situation on extra man. Extra man is normally a very well-designed play that you go for a good shot.
Griswold tries to go over the head of Joe Soletti. Does not do it. Soletti's going to clear the ball easily. Once he gets in the box, the penalty will be over. They put it inside. That's the end of the penalty, and now everybody all even. And now as Jeff Kendall holds the ball momentarily. Hopkins substitutes defenseman. Back on the far side now with Peter Scott. Peter Scott was nursing an injury up till a couple of weeks ago, a pulled hamstring. Still playing with a bandage as of last week, but now appears to be 100%.
Good ball player, 14 goals, 6 assists on the year, and that's not playing too many games.
Back over now. Cook trying to roll back inside again. Draws a lot of heat when he has the ball. Can't give it off to Scott. Now he's coming back out front. Feeds into the crease. The ball knocked down. Here comes Soletti. He shoots as he's being nailed. The ball backed up nicely on the backside by number 31, Pete Scott.
Well, you mentioned he was nailed. He really was, Bob. Anytime you get within that crease area, 5 yards on the crease, watch, your coach wants you to wipe out the man on the crease. He's dangerous right here. So watch, he gets conversion on by 2 or 3 players. Everybody on the crease, look at the white jerseys. They get that man out of there because he's too dangerous.
Shot taken by Zafuto. Nice save by Sears, but does not control. Zafuto gets the ball back.
Carolina has their long sticks midfield in, which means they're playing with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensemen and 1 midfielder.
Number 10, Johnny Basil, the man with the short stick. He's the midfielder they hope they can utilize in clearing the ball should Sears make the save. A quick feed inside. The shot taken over there by Soletti. And we have 2 Hopkins men running out of bounds. Jeff Cook will get possession.
Bob, we haven't talked to Coach Scroggs about this, but we had noticed it in the first half. They are in sort of a semi-zone. With these long 6, they play a very tight sort of a zone situation. We don't know exactly how the rotation goes. They'll pressure the ball a little bit, but they don't go out and play it tough. And they slide tightly again from that zone. Watch how the players play it almost like a basketball zone.
Back out front now to Brendan Schneck.
Here you see the Hopkins players getting cooled down because it's a very, very hot and humid day here at Palmer Stadium.
Schneck comes in with his ISO, tries to feed underneath, gets into Zafudo, and a nice slide in there by number 12, Jamie Allen, checks the ball away, and Sears runs it out of bounds, and Carolina will gain possession.
That's that zone defense.
Play by Tommy Sears.
Zone defense. Jamie Allen was above the play. He was in the midfield, but what happens is in the zone, you can slide across with only about a 5-6 yard slide, whereas normally you're pulled out about 10 yards away. He came back and saved that shot from being a good shot, but watch Tommy Sears as he gets out of the goal and races this ball to the sideline and gets it back for Carolina. You'll see him coming to the picture right here. There he is. Beat Peter Scott to the sideline with a shot. He's closest to the ball. His team gets it.
6:45 remaining in the third quarter. Johns Hopkins 8, North Carolina 8. Of course, the winning coach today will be named as one of the 3 coaches to coach the USA team in the 1982 World Games. A nice hit there as one of the defensemen gets tied up. Number 37, Ronnie Huss, gets tied up for Carolina. No fast break as everybody's back in the hole very nicely. Good move inside, but Jeff Cook, he rolls in, fires and blocks the ball inside past Tommy Sears. And Jeff Cook has put on some performance here today as he has his 4th goal, all in a great effort.
Cook is unbelievable. When they say go to the cooker, I think they named it after this man right here. He is absolutely too much. This is the 2nd time he has gone and gotten a penalty on the way to scoring a goal today. Now watch him come in, power move against Vogel. He beats him there with an inside roll. The defenseman's out of position. Here's another defenseman sliding over, but it's too late as Cook dives in. Look, he's into the crease, but it's too late because the ball was in the net, and that goal counts. And it's 9-8 Johns Hopkins thanks to Cook. 1, 2, 3, his 4th goal of the game. He could have had 5 had the time not elapsed in the first quarter, and it was not counted.
6:17 remaining in the third quarter. Johns Hopkins 9, Carolina 8. And we're waiting now for all the substitutions to be made when we get started for the face-off.
Bob, you know, we talked about 2 guys having the potential to dominate a game. We mentioned Cook and Schneck, and Cook is doing it right now. The scary thing, if I was a North Carolina rooter, would be that Schneck, we haven't heard from yet, and any time he can explode.
We showed that in the playoffs, but he scored 3 goals very quickly to power Hopkins to a semifinal victory over Virginia. Here comes Jeff Kendall. Kendall over to Harris. Harris over to Zafudo. And Zafudo picked up nicely over there by Jamie Allen. Throws the ball back out. Excuse me, Gary Burns puts the ball back out front. And Schneck, he'll fire from there if you let him. He tries to shoot high. Tommy Sears picks that one off nicely. Has the quick outlet pass to Roy Messenger. Messenger's not going to be able to handle it, however. And Hopkins will get the ball back. Sears looks like he wants to get that outlet pass every time he gets it. And he looks for a defenseman breaking out to the side.
A good goalie does. We're going to take a look at a shot down here. This is the one. Watch Schneck come in. He wants that shot. He gets it within 19 yards. He's about 19 yards out, and that's a heck of a long way. No screen. You can see a great shot right there. With no screen, that's picking cherries for a goalie. He can just sight that thing all the way in, and it's a very easy save. Hopkins is the best team in the country at making screens. That time they didn't have it. Easy save for the goalie.
Carolina now down as a result of a holding call. And they're down a man. We'll see what kind of an offense Hopkins runs. They're out in a 1-4-1. The shot will come to the wing. Ciccarone Jr. looks inside, dodges twice. Nice save by Tommy Sears. As one of the defensemen puts the ball up towards the midfield line, it'll be run down there by Brendan Schneck.
Great body save by Sears.
There comes Mike Donnelly. Donnelly rolls inside. Another save by Tommy Sears. The shot hits him in the feet. Sears now in a little bit of trouble. Gets the ball back to one of the defensemen. And he goes up to Vogel. Here comes Vogel. Vogel sort of cherry picking, hanging up near the midfield line. And they have the ball cleared across the midfield, off the top of the box rather. And Carolina goes back all even now against Johns Hopkins.
Hopkins is over 3, Bob, on extra man offense. We talked before the game to some of the 2 coaches, and they felt this is a very critical area. Any close game, it's a critical area. The extra man situations, you must take advantage of them.
Griswold tries to feed on a cutter inside, number 18. That would be Jeff Homeyer. The ball does not get through. And now a quick outlet pass to Craig Cook. Cook wheels it across the midfield line. Craig, the older brother of Jeff, gets it back to Jeff, and Craig will come out of the game as he was in on extra man offense. Jeff will hold the ball, waiting for Hopkins to substitute on the fly.
See all the Hopkins coaches on the sideline. There's Jeff Cook, leading scorer on the Hopkins team. 46 goals, 28 assists. tremendous ball player. This guy is dominating this game, scoring 3-4 times, all unassisted.
Putting now midfield in the game for Johns Hopkins, 11 Jeff Kendall, 12 Joe Saletti, and 28 Mike McGee. Cook now is going to try Haas again. Beats Haas to the front of the goal. Is open. Fires and scores. It's a goal. Jeff Cook has been awesome. Hopkins now leads North Carolina 10-8. 4:01 remaining in the third quarter.
How many times can you say it? This guy is just taking charge. He's doing it all, and he's doing it all unassisted. His 5th goal, each one has been unassisted. This is true Hopkins style, and this guy's a guy that does it better than anybody. Watch him come in. He wants to beat the Haas, a sophomore, 1-on-1. Here he goes. Haas needs help. He's not getting it. Cook gets in position, comes in for the left-handed shot. The ball is still in possession, and Sears doesn't read it over the shoulder for a high score right underneath the pipe. Only 4 minutes left and a 2-goal lead thanks to Jeff Cook. With, again, 4 minutes left and 1 second in the third quarter.
Putting out for the face-off. Hopkins doesn't get it cleanly. The ball laying there and almost picked up. Now picked up by Stennerson. He loses it, but it bounces right into the stick of one of the Carolina midfielders. They have a fast break set up as virtue of the pass. And a shot taken inside, wide of the goal by Mike Burnett. That pass made it a fast break, even though there wasn't really one there.
Absolutely, and the North Carolina players love to shoot that ball. You'll notice in the fast breaks, they don't back up as well. Many times they've taken shots that missed the goal. Hopkins gets the ball back. Hopkins backs up beautifully. Here, Holman raced back, and there was no North Carolina player back there. They all want to get the shot on goal. They have so much
firepower.
They got the firepower. They also have confidence that they're going to get that shot and put it in the net.
Here comes Kendall again, as he's cleared the ball so well. Kendall and Saletti have done a yeoman job in clearing the ball up the near sideline all day long.
They've made it look easy, too easy.
Back to Safuto. Safuto picked up by Messenger. Good shot behind the goals. You watch Safuto come around. Messenger pushing him out a little bit. Now Safuto pulls out and gives it off to Jeff Cook. We'll see what Cook looks at as he comes around the goal. Good speed, good move, rolling around, looking for a double team, rolls it by the goal, almost scoring.
Got a penalty.
Excellent move. We'll see what it is. It'll be a holding call, as that's about all you can do to keep Jeff Cook from going to the goal.
Well, you can see with that great camera work we had from behind the goal, he was double teamed, triple teamed that time, but it didn't make much difference. That time he used a little shovel pass. He came around, a shovel shot, as a matter of fact. We're going to take a look at the hole, but watch the shot by Cook. He knows he's going to get double teamed, so he just kind of shovels the ball real low. Watch, he'll just shovel it down real low underneath. Here's the holding right there. That's a hold. Here comes the double team. He has nothing else to do with that hold except just kind of like shove that ball and scoop it underneath. It was wide of the goal, although it looks like Sears had a good beat on it. But now another extra man situation.
Coach Henry Chingaroni hoping that he could do a little better on extra man offense this time than he's been doing in the prior 3 opportunities.
Cook has 4 of the last 5 goals for Hopkins.
Inside feed, Donnelly's got it, fires. Mike Donnelly, one of the real fine shooters, young man from Canada, fires that over Tommy Sears' shoulder. And once again, for the second time this game, Hopkins has a 3-goal lead. They now lead Carolina 11-8. 3:04 remaining in the third quarter.
Donnelly was a top high school box lacrosse player from Ontario, and now watch this. He does have a great shot. He gets in that right-handed shot. He lines it up, looks for that right-hand corner, and boom, he finds it. Sears thinking he had it right all the way, but when you have a player like Donnelly with his ability and the chance for him to crank up and put it where he wants, more often than not, he's going to score. That's the first score out of 4 attempts for the Johns Hopkins extra man offense.
Stennerson with a nice pickup on the loose ball. Gives it off to Dougie Hall. Hall rolls in, doesn't find his shot. Now he takes it and shoots and scores, and that was some shot. Doug Hall from about 19 yards away fired it right over Brian Holman's right shoulder. And Carolina now moves back to within 2. Hopkins leads North Carolina 11-9, 2:52 remaining in the third quarter.
This only took 12 seconds for North Carolina to get a little fired up and come down. That shows you how important the faceoff is. They got the faceoff. Doug Hall comes down. Again, he's a converted attackman. He was an attackman last year. He knows how to shoot that ball. Watch him come in. He's not picked up. He says, hey, I've got a shot that's 15 yards out, right up in the upper left-hand corner as you're looking at it. A beautiful shot against Holman, and right now they're back within 2. A good place to be with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the third quarter. Bob?
You see who went offsides. I think it's going to be North Carolina offsides. They moved before the whistle blew from the wing area, and Hopkins will gain possession. And that's kind of a painful penalty because Stennerson had gotten control of the ball for North Carolina. There you see, 2:51 remaining in the third quarter. North Carolina trailing Johns Hopkins 11-9.
Jeff Kendall, the great player for transfer junior for Johns Hopkins.
Kendall picked up by Dougie Hall. Going to try to run right by Hall, which he does. Looks in and fires. A nice save by Sears. Sears with a good quick outlet pass to Pete Vocal. This is what Carolina likes to do. Carolina coming down 6-on-5. Will try to find the open man. Vocal rolls inside, pushes off, turns, feeds in. Burnett, Monty Hill rather. Instead of shooting, Monty Hill was going to try to hit Kevin Griswold, and Griswold was not expecting the pass, and therefore they lose possession of the ball.
This is unbelievable. Monty Hill, you talk about, this is a great example of overpassing. Monty Hill is right in front of the goal, and he passes it up and throws it behind the goal. He misread it all the way. Look at Hill. Look at Hill. He's right in front of the goal. It should have been an easy one to put him only one back, but he throws it behind the goal. That's what they love to do. They love to pass, but there's a perfect example, again, of overpassing, and it cost him a goal.
Now Brian Holman looks at the zone ride of Carolina, gives it over to Brendan Schneck, and once again, Carolina concedes the clear. This time Schneck's 40 yards from the midline. Carolina drops back in and concedes the clear, and I don't understand that.
I don't understand that either. I've never seen a clear given away so easily.
But now as Schneck will try to get the offense going here for Hopkins. Hopkins leading 11-9 over North Carolina. 2:05 remaining in the third quarter of the NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championship. Back out now to Jim Zafuto.
Nice
Hopkins runs their splits offense. Back over to Schneck. Schneck this time being picked up at number 35, Randy Cox. Cox lays a little stick on him, and they give it over to Tommy Sears with an easy shot. Another quick outlet pass. This time it's snared, though, by Bill Cantelli. And Hopkins will look for the fast break. They set it inside, knocked down. Now they try to throw the ball. Carolina tries to throw the ball back up towards the midfield line to get back into their transition game. We'll see what the call is. It's one of the official almost run down by Kevin Griswold. Ball will go back over to Johns Hopkins.
Tough call to make, but it was good hustle by both teams as the ball came out to the midfield stripe. You see a goalie, any good goalie, and of course these two are the best in the business. Sears makes a save. The first thing he does is look upfield to hit a cutting midi to go back to get that fast break going the other way. That time it was picked off by Cantelli and brought back down for Hopkins.
Ryan Holman over to Lance Schneck. Schneck is wide open coming down. The big defenseman gives it off behind to Jeff Cook. Cook has had all of the best against Johnny Hawes today. Johnny Hawes, the defenseman for Carolina, number 37. Now back out to Brendan Schneck. Schneck's been very, very patient. Hopkins settles in, puts two men down on the crease. They set a nice screen. Zafuto probably come back up front. He fires a shot wide of the goal on the right-hand side. The screen was not in the way of the shot. It's backed up over there by Jeff Cook. 1 minute remaining in the third quarter of the NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championship. Johns Hopkins leading 11-9. With Bob Smith along with Lee Felsmo with you today. Here comes Schneck, wants to fire. He'd rather have his right hand, comes in, he's open, turns, now puts it back to Cook. Back out front. Here's Schneck firing, and hitting the goal wide to the right-hand side. It looks to me like Carolina is not sliding as fast as they were early in the game.
They're not. They're playing that kind of zone. I guess we don't know the exact. Here's Coach Henry Ciccarone. He's yelling out some sort of offensive instructions. He wants to get a better shot. He knows they're in a little bit of a semi-zone. He wants to work some sort of perimeter game to get the good hard shot from up top.
Time winding down here in the third quarter. 30 seconds remaining.
Coach Henry Ciccarone, his son, number 18, excellent ball player, loves the shot from up top.
Here comes Chick. Comes back late. He can shoot with either hand, left or right. Over to Zafuto. Quick feed inside to Cantelli. Back behind the goal to Jeff Cook. Here comes Cook in his roll dodge, and he's triple teamed this time. They said, you will not pass this time for sure. The ball knocked out of bounds.
Carolina's over-eagerness, taking the ball out of bounds. He was double-triple teamed, but Sears came out of the goal. They're psyched, they're happy, or maybe they're yelling at each other. I don't know. But anyway, they came out and they kicked that ball out, and the ball went back to Hopkins. It wasn't a shot, so this time, if you kick it out, you lose it.
Brendan Schneck now feeds inside, quick with the ball knocked down. And Cantelli knocks it in. Cantelli knocks it in. We'll see. They say no goal. No goal. Both referees down on the plane of the goal had ruled no goal. Once again, Hopkins loses the goal because time ran out. And this time, the end of the third quarter.
All right, the
we'll
second
see
time.
what happens here.
Second time we can show it to you. We show you Cantelli, who has 7 goals in the season with 2 assists. He's a little bit upset about that because he made a beautiful heads-up play. He was on the crease where he should be, and he scooped that thing in. And Cook comes in. He didn't get the shot. He was double-triple teamed. Now watch. Right there. Cantelli to the right of your screen, right to the right of goal. Hit it in, batted it in like a baseball bat, but no avail because the time had run out. 11-9. We'll be back in a minute with the fourth quarter of this exciting game.
1 quarter to go in the NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championship. Johns Hopkins leads North Carolina 11-9. Well, on ESPN on Saturday, July 4th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, it'll be diving. The USA versus the People's Republic of China. Competition will feature both men and women's 3-meter springboard and 10-meter platform diving. Bruce Kimball, the current national platform diving champion, leads the U.S. team, which also features Margot Meyer, tops in springboard competition. Chen Chao Chai is the leading representative on her Chinese team. China has beaten the U.S. in the last 2 meets. So that's diving, Saturday, July 4th on ESPN, your total sports network.
This is it, Bob, the 4th quarter. And you know, we've seen some extra man situations here that haven't worked out to the benefit of the extra man team. We asked Coach Henry Ciccarone just how critical the extra man situations were going to be today.
Well, the man up and man down situation, I think, is very critical. Both teams have very good offensive personnel in the man up situation, and it could be a deciding factor in this game.
There you heard from Coach Henry Ciccarone as we have the opening face-off still not controlled to begin the 4th quarter of this championship game. Now the ball rolling back, and we'll have a loose ball push call probably. We'll see. It will be an illegal procedure, and the ball will go over to North Carolina. That gives Hopkins an opportunity to get their long sticks defense in. 21, Kevin Kilner. 45, Marty Bergen. And 44, Walton Carswell. So we see a great shot of this outstanding crowd here today at Palmer Stadium. I guess the term you use with this stadium is venerable, right, Lee?
Yes, it's the term I use.
Now Mike Burnett trying to get past Lance Schneck, fires and scores from a backhanded shot that had Brian Holman totally fooled. And now Carolina cuts the lead to 1. Hopkins leading North Carolina 11-9 with 14:42 remaining in the 4th quarter.
It only took them 8 seconds to get on track. This is the last quarter. This is the quarter they have to do it, and Barnett's the big gun. Watch him come in here. Another great shot that shows you how great the players are these days. Fantastic shot behind the back. Watch Burnett. He whips it around. Reverse pivot with the stick, and it comes in right underneath of Holman. Holman's tough to read when a player shoots with his back turned to you. And that's what Burnett did to get the North Carolina Tar Heels back to within 1 goal, 12 seconds.
Beautiful pick up there by Pete Vocal on that face-off. He rolled in. And we're going to have a moving pick called against Fennerson, however. And all the effort on Vocal's part goes for naught as Fennerson was shielding off Jeff Kendall more than 5 yards from the ball. And therefore, Johns Hopkins regained possession.
Well, North Carolina coach Scroggs has to be tremendously happy that 12 seconds into the 4th quarter, they cut the margin to 1. That means you've got 14 whole minutes to get this game on an even-up situation, and hopefully their speed and quickness and a little bit more depth, or the greater depth they have at midfield, can take advantage of Hopkins' superior one-on-one ability with Cook and Schneck.
Running now as Hopkins brings the ball down on offense.
Schneck wants it.
Brendan Schneck. Schneck and Cook are going to be the guys they're going to go to. That's for sure.
You saw Schneck wave off Henry Ciccarone, wave him in deep. They're setting up. They're probably setting up in isolation him up front, and he'll come in. If he gets a shot, he'll take it. If not, he'll dish it to the wing. Watch him. He'll either dish it to Cook or Ciccarone.
Good defense being played there by number 35, Randy Cox for North Carolina. Hopkins content to work for the real good shot. Here comes Jeff Cook. The double team's already set up as Cook tries to run back into it. Outside is Schneck. Schneck will fire from in there if he can get loose, but he falls down, and Randy Cox manhandles him, picks up the loose ball, and completes the deal as he goes across the midfield line and clears it. Still has control. Now loses it as Lance Schneck is on top of it. Schneck under a lot of pressure there from number 11, Tom Federico, but they give it back to Kevin Kiefer, and Kiefer will give it over on the far side to Dave Black.
That's a shame because Randy Cox made a great play. He's only a freshman, but at 6'1", 195, made a great play to bring it down. Should have passed the ball off when he got across the midfield straight, Bob.
The attackman kind of hung in one position there, not helping out much. Here comes Brendan Schneck. Burnett gives him a little whack, loses the stick, but doesn't matter. Ciccarone's open to fire from there if he comes in. They try to feed it inside. Then a beautiful save by Tommy Sears on a point-blank shot by Jim Saputo.
That could be a great save. That could be unbelievable save by Sears. That could be critical in the game. They would have given him a 2-goal lead with 13 minutes left, but a great read on Sears.
That's going to be a pushing call going against Bill Cantelli. And now he gets, we'll see, from the rear. It's a 1-minute penalty. It'll be from the rear, and Carolina will be extra for 1 minute.
Let's take a look at the sideline here. There you see Saputo climbing right up the back of number 32. That's John Herbert, a defenseman for North Carolina.
And then he falls over, that insult to injury.
The pushing wasn't enough. He was going for the head. Wasn't going for the head. He was going for the ball, and it was a great defensive play by both players. The penalty will give North Carolina an extra man situation. We heard Coach Scroggs talk about how important the extra man is going to be in this game.
And they now give it off to Griswold. Well, Carolina sets up in a 3-3, everybody out in front of the goal, and they'll probably cut out of that as Coker comes on his sweep over to Griswold. Now they send a man, Mike Burnett, back behind the goal. Brian Holman calling out the area of the field in which the ball is located so his defenseman can read it. Back inside. The shot taken wide of the goal. Real hummer by Jeff Homeyer. Homeyer fired that just to the right side of the goal.
Homeyer loves to shoot it too. He's got 23 goals and 5 assists on the year, and he's a midfielder.
Burnett back out to Homeyer. They're trying to get a good shot in off the wing here. That's why they continue to work it out to Homeyer. Feed inside underneath. There's a man cutting underneath there, number 19. That would be Dave Wingate. Does not get the feed. They lose the ball. And now Lance Schneck gives it back to Brian Holman. There's the quick outlet pass to Has Franklin. He's in a little bit of trouble. They pick the ball.